In the early days of the coronavirus situation, we as an exec were unsure of the best things to do. In hindsight, I'm enormously relieved that we decided to cancel our March meeting, although it broke my heart to do that. It took us a little while after that to regain our balance, but soon we were doing what Soroptimists far and wide are known for, just getting on with it. It's always important for a membership organisation to keep in touch with members in times of strife, and as a region, we determined that we should support clubs in this endeavour by providing a regular newsletter that shared and celebrated what clubs and members were doing. This was also a strategy adopted by Federation, and one strand of that was calls with regional presidents hosted by Federation President Isabel. Each regional president was invited to update the group on what was happening in their region, and it was interesting for me to be able to see the variety of ways of working that different regions have. It made me realise how self-sufficient the clubs in our region are, which I feel reflects on the strength of the individual club's memberships. This was really backed up by what I saw in person when I was able to join individual clubs at their meetings, a small number face-to-face before lockdown and a number more via Zoom. Each club clearly has its own personality, and I was so happy to be able to interact with those I got to see, and so sad not to see the others. Let me reflect on a moment on what we have been able to achieve. I'm not going to talk about programme action, Pam and Jackie will do that. But who would have thought when I took over as president that we would all be Zooming all over the place? Even the most ardent technophobes are starting to see the benefits. And I'm keenly aware that all the clubs are doing everything they can to ensure that those for whom the technology is totally beyond them are not being left out and are being assisted to continue to be involved and supported. I foresee that this is a step change in how we will approach meetings in the future, long after threats of lockdowns have abated, and with the benefits of meetings being more accessible to those who cannot travel because of age or infirmity at one end, and because of work or childcare commitments at the other. Ladies, it has not been the year I expected or wanted, but I am honoured, truly honoured, to be part of an organisation that is willing to be fleet of foot, adaptable, and focused on continuing to do the important things that we believe in. It only remains for me to thank the wonderful exec that I've worked with this year. Many of you will know that I stepped in as being president fairly late. I didn't have any experience of being on regional exec. Exec took me under their wing. They were so supportive, kept me on the straight and narrow, and enabled me to have a year that at least I can look back on with pride. I urge anyone who is on this call today, who is in any way interested in understanding how Soroptimists work at a higher level, do think about taking on a role on regional exec. I guarantee it, I promise you, you will not regret it. Thank you. I'm now going to hand over to the other officers, so we'll start with Rita as secretary.
I haven't got anything extra to the report that I circulated, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Has Sylvia now joined? No? Okay. So we will move on to programme action. Pam and Jackie, have you got anything in addition to your report that you want to add?
The report went out, as you said, and I don't have anything else to add, just to say congratulations to everybody for keeping going with programme action in whatever way you've been able to do it, and for reporting, because we have had things to report back to SIGB, UKPAC and to SIGB, but please will you remember to continue to report, because if you don't shout about it, they don't know about it. Thank you.
I endorse everything that's Pam has just said.
Thank you, Pam and Jackie. Their programme action report, of course, makes excellent reading, and it is at the heart of everything that we do. So if you've not had a chance to look at it, I do encourage you to do that. Helen, for membership, is there anything you want to add to your report?
I haven't got a lot. I just wanted to confirm that the lockdown newsletter, which we started at your suggestion, Denise, we will continue next year. And in the same vein as Pam, I'd just like to say congratulations to all of the clubs who have kept on meeting and kept in contact with members, and kept the organisation in their clubs going through a challenging time. Thank you.
Thank you. Jane, communications and website, is there anything you would like to add to your report?
I think the report says it all. I think the newsletters that we did during lockdown, I think that was a really good thing to do. And we when it's times like this, we really do need to communicate with one another and keep ourselves linked and connected. One of the things in my report is about website, and if any of the clubs are struggling to sort out their new website since SIGB changed it this year, then don't suffer in silence, because it is your website will come up when people try to search for your club. So even if we just finish up with a nice home page and a way of contacting you, we really need to have something there that looks up to date and welcoming. And I think that's it. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Jane. Pauline, SIGB Project Ambassador.
Good morning, everybody. I hope I'm not on mute now.
No, you're not.
Good. Thank you. I've just got two things to add. The first one's a really good thing, is that we actually met our £50,000 target for the year, despite being in lockdown. So that's a wonderful achievement. Thanks in part to the big story, which was phenomenal. And I know that there are a couple of people in the region that have done a story for that. So thank you very, very much for that. Secondly, and more importantly, you will have heard yesterday, or you will be hearing over the next few days, that the project has been put on hold. So this is the Empowering Girls in Nepal has been put on hold by the Federation Management Board. Why there are investigations undergoing. There seems to be a slight disconnection between Chora Chora Nepal and Empowering Girls in Nepal working with Chora Chora. As I say, I can't say any more at the moment, but you will be aware that if you have funds, if you've been raising money as a club, can you hold on to those funds for the time being, please? And as soon as we know any more that's going on, I'm sure that we'll be informed. So thank you very much, and thank you for all the hard work you've done over the last 12 months. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Pauline. Okay. We don't have Barbara Diamond with us today as the 63 representative, but she did say that her report was complete. So finally, Rita again on the benevolence.
Nothing to add to my report, but a plea that if any clubs do have members who are finding life difficult during this really, really difficult time, not to be afraid to apply. And you've got my contact details. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Okay, so that concludes the officers' reports. We now need to think about the officers for 2020 to 2021. Rita, I believe you have a list.
I have a cunning list. Yes.
Which I'll share.
I will. Yeah. I'll read it out now. We're going to send out a newsletter next week, and there'll be a list in the newsletter. Right, President, welcome. We'll have Helen Byrne, and Denise becomes our immediate past president. We do have posts vacant for the president-elect and vice president. So ladies, please give a thought to that. Linda Scholl has agreed to continue as our minute secretary, which I'm absolutely delighted about. And I'm continuing as the secretary for a further year. But I would like somebody during the year to take over. So please, can you think about a shadow for the year? It's a really interesting job and not too onerous when someone else does the minutes. Sylvia Watson continues as our treasurer. Programme action officers for one more year are Pam Robertson and Jackie Palin as a job share. Federation councillor will be myself. Membership officer is going to be Denise Powell. Thank you, Denise. But we would like someone, obviously, other clubs to become involved in this, because this really is a regional initiative. Communications officer is Jane Slatter. But again, a plea, Dear Diary. We would really like an editor for Dear Diary. Project ambassador for Empowering Girls in Pool and Pauline Panther continues. Barbara Diamond continues as our 63 representative. I continue for a further year as the Benevolent Fund trustee, and Jen Simpson continues as an executive member. And those are our officers for next year. But ladies, we really would like somebody else to join us on the executive, and it's fun and you learn an awful lot. So thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Now we need to get a proposer and a seconder for that list of officers. So could I ask for somebody to indicate that they are happy to propose that? I saw Eslin's hand first. So we'll have Eslin as the proposer and Joanna Swift as the seconder. And now voting delegates only, please indicate with a big show of hands that you approve so that Rita can take the count.
I think we're okay.
Excellent.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay. That's the business section of this meeting concluded for now. So 2-minute breath while I just check that Anne Beattie is with us. I think I can see her. Currently on mute and without her camera. So Anne, if I can just ask you to turn yourself on, and if everybody else could turn their mics off, there's a bit of background noise. Thank you.
Hi, Denise, I'm here now.
Thank you very much, Anne. So I'm going to hand over to Jane, who is going to introduce Anne